As the seasons change, the landscape is painted with brilliant new colors. Naturally, there's an inclination to take out your camera and snap pictures of everything in sight. But how many times have you ended up with, well, less than what you expected, creating piles of uninspired images? Don't worry, because today I'm going to teach you how to compose and capture vibrant color in all its glory. You'll learn how to fine-tune your photograph's composition and work with lighting to make the colors jump out at you. Then I'll show you how to work with your pictures on the computer to enhance the colors even more. Rake in vibrant fall photographs next on The Whole Picture. Welcome to The Whole Picture. I'm Erin Manning. You know, all those beautiful colors in nature can inspire the photographer and everyone. But have you ever noticed how sometimes your photographs just don't represent what you see with your eyes? Well, one of the reasons is because our eyes are much more light sensitive than the sensor in your camera. So we see a broader range of tones between the brightest highlights and the darkest shadows. Another reason is because it's very tempting to try and include everything that you see into your photograph and not focus in on any one thing. And if it's not composed well, you could end up with kind of a boring photograph. But that doesn't have to be the case. If you just pay attention to the light and work with the rules of composition, you can create a dynamic photo that everyone wants to see. Take a look at some of the pictures I took using the rules of composition and also working with the color and the light. Now, these two photographs are obviously very colorful, and I also moved them a little off-center using a rule of composition called the rule of thirds. It creates a little more interest in the photograph. Here's some palm trees I took in Hawaii, and I utilized a lead-in line by using the tops of the palm trees. It draws your eye through the picture, and also used shadow and highlight to create some contrast. Now, one of my students, Angie Renfro, sent me this picture, and she feels like as a photograph, it just kind of fizzles. And I'd have to agree with her, mainly because she really didn't compose it well. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to look at here. Is it the bicycle that's halfway cut off, or is it the leaves? And if I am supposed to look at the leaves, unfortunately, they're a little out of focus. But Angie isn't discouraged, and we still have a lot of great color out there in nature. So I'm going to meet up with Angie a little bit later out in the country and show her some rules of composition that will help her get a great photograph. Now, the first thing I'm going to teach you are the rules of composition that will really help draw your viewer's eye into the photograph. Then I'll share some techniques about getting great close-ups. Next, I'll show you how to manipulate the light to really enhance the color in your photographs. Finally, we'll come back here to the studio and work with the images on the computer and enhance them even more. Now, speaking of color, I think it's important you know about something called the color wheel. Now, this is something a lot of artists and designers also use, and here's the tip. If you want to get a vibrant picture with contrasting complementary colors, you want to use colors in the opposite from each other on the color wheel. For instance, green tree, red berry, blue sky, orange flower. See? Pretty easy. The other things we also want to bring with us, if you're shooting with natural light, you want to make sure you bring a reflector. Now, they could be simple things. I have a car reflector I work with. Or if you don't have that, you could even use aluminum foil and wrap it around some cardboard. I like to use a professional reflector, and this is what they look like. And then if you're shooting in low light, you want to make sure you bring a tripod. Okay, I'm going to head out and see Angie, but until I get there, take a look at some of the photographs I took illustrating the principles I'm going to teach you today. A picture should be worth 1,000 words. Coming up, I'll show you how to take pictures that tell the story you want, and then you'll learn how to take advantage of natural light to bring out the character in your shots. That's next on The Whole Picture.